Kaya, Wanju, hello and welcome. I am Ezra Flowers, Senior Cultural Consultant and member of the Carrolup Elders Reference Group. We are greeting you from Noongar Budja, traditional lands of the Noongar people and home to the Herbert collection of Carrolup artworks. We invite you to follow us as we share the story of these remarkable artworks created by Aboriginal children from the 1940s. Our Coolingah, our children, were forcibly removed, stolen from their families under Western Australia's racist government policies and held in the Carrolup native settlement. Despite the traumatic conditions they lived under, the children created hundreds of artworks. These important artworks tell the stories of country, knitting, of our resilience, and show that despite the interruptions of colonial governments and legislation, our culture continues. From the darkest part of our history, this collection is the bright light that is still creating ripples around the pond.
Wandiwa. My name is Michelle Brune. I'm Curator of Australian First Nations art here at John Curtin Gallery. My mother is Injibundi from the Pilbara region of the northwest of Western Australia, and on my father's side I descend from the Brunes of Edinburgh. One of the collections I care for at John Curtin Gallery is the Herbert collection of Carrolup art. It's an incredible story about a group of Aboriginal children stolen from their families and detained at the Carrolup Aboriginal settlement southwest of Perth, Western Australia in the 1940s. These children defied the odds to achieve international acclaim for their school drawings with the help of their teacher, Mr. Noel White, and UK philanthropist, Mrs. Florence Rudder. It is also about how a collection of these artworks toured the world, was hidden for 4 decades in the US, and eventually returned to WA in 2013 to become part of the Curtin University Art Collection. It is now held dearly in the hearts and minds of the descendants of the artists. In 1949, visiting British philanthropist Florence Rudder learnt of the Carrolup children's artwork. Mrs. Rudder arranged exhibitions across Australia and New Zealand, as well as the Netherlands and on to the UK, where she sold many artworks. The press were enchanted. Parnell Dempster's Down to Drink was included in the Royal Pastoral Society's 45th annual exhibition in January 1951 in London. In the late 1950s, Mrs. Rudder fell on hard times. She sold 122 artworks to New York collector Herbert, who bequested them to his alma mater, Colgate University, in the 1960s. In 2013, this precious collection was returned home to Western Australia to Noongar Budja by Colgate University.
Kaya Yumob. I'm Kathleen Tumath, the manager of the Carrolup Centre. I'm personally very privileged to be able to make a contribution to the vision of community healing that surrounds and encompasses what the Carrolup Children's art represents for the Noongar community, for my community. The children in their time demonstrated joy in their creative expression in observation of our mother Budja. Their fundamental experience with making art gave many of them esteem and skills they would employ later on in life.
The artworks and the children of Carrolup provide an opportunity for us to reflect, to find common ground and a common language and celebrate our survival.
I'd like to acknowledge the children of the stolen generation, the artists of this beautiful work, that through all this pain and suffering and trauma that was embedded upon them in these darkest, wildest, strangest hours of their lives, that they still found beauty. The beauty that we have here today, we are privileged and honoured, and we must remember and reflect on them as we continue to commemorate and celebrate the Carrolup artists and the children of the stolen generation.